and others, please don't keep messages in everyone mode. This is the last warning today, say, Teja, yesterday also I warned you. I want you people to keep messages in private mode. Faster.com, 93 Mbps speed is going on, and you are saying voice is not clear. Still people are facing problem. Echo is coming up. Still voice is having issue. Admin, Hussein, Mr. Admin. Am I audible, guys? Am I loud and clear? What's the problem you are getting? Voice is breaking or voice is dancing? Echo is coming. Voice clarity ledanడి. ఆన్లైన్ వాళ్ళకి రీసౌండ్ వస్తున్నట్టు. ఎకో ప్రాబ్లం. Bouncing back up. Now, is it okay now? Is it okay now? We adjusted some settings. Same problem. Go different. Is it manageable? Mr. AM, your answer is always no, na? Can I continue the session? Mr. AM, what is your original name? Your name is AM, brother name is PM, mother name is Sunlight, father name is Sunset. Okay. Is it okay now? Okay, boss. We'll see. Try to manage for some time. If any problem is there, we will see. So by yesterday we completed what? Second project completion. Second project we completed, right? Injection, how to solve the ambiguity problem, how to develop the application using Maven, how to implement project by using strategy design pattern, right guys? So we learned multiple things there, and that knowledge we'll use while developing any kind of Spring applications. While developing any target or dependent classes, we are going to use that one. So let's move to new topic, that is Spring Bean scopes, guys. What scopes, guys? What do you mean by Spring Bean scopes? IOC container allows us to keep Spring Beans in different scopes. Scopes talks about visibility or not, guys? Scopes speak about visibility or not? I want reply. Super. Tell me, in Core Java level, how many scopes are there? Core Java level, how many scopes are there? First, block scope. When I say block scope, what? If condition, if block. For loop means for loop block, right, guys? And then local scope specific to one method. Instance scope specific to one object. Class scope specific to one class. And one more scope is there which I have never come across so far. That is the thread scope specific to one thread. For that one, we have to keep data in thread local variable. What variable? Thread local is an object. If we keep the data specific to, if we keep any data inside the thread local, that will become specific to that thread who has placed it. So in standalone application, we can keep data in how many scopes? Four, I think 5 scopes. Block scope, method scope, Instance scope, class scope, thread scope. In web application, I think some people knows about web application, Servlet JSP kinda. Okay, tell me, in how many scopes data can be managed? Don't know? If I tell you will feel bad. Page scope specific to each JSP page, right? Request scope specific to each request. Session scope specific to each browser, right guys? Application scope common for entire web application. I hope you heard all these statements in your advanced Java classes. If not heard, try to learn now. Okay, no problem. So first of all, what I do is in standalone application, we can keep the data. What guys? In standalone application, we can keep the data in the following scopes, guys. What scopes? We can keep the data in the following scopes. Tell me what are those scopes, guys? Yeah, tell me. A block scope, method scope or local scope. Generally we say local variables, local scope na boss. Next, instance scope, instance variable guys. Class scope, static variable, right? Thread scope, threads specific to one thread guys. Yeah. In web applications of Java, we can keep data in the following scopes, right guys? We can keep data in the following scope. Tell me guys, yeah. What is that? Request scope. B. Session scope. C. What is that? Page scope. D. Okay, application scope. Yes or no? Request scope specific to each request. Session scopes specific to each browser software. Page scope specific to each web page. Application scope common for entire web application. Scope means visibility in a overall. Scope means visibility in a boss. All right. We can make IOC container to keep Spring Bean class object in different scopes. The Spring Bean scopes in 5.x and 6.x, both are same guys. Okay. Or singleton, what is the default? Singleton is default if no scope is specified. Agree with me guys. Next one, prototype. Next one. Then WebSocket. Can be used in standalone application and also in what? Web application. A singleton prototype scope can be used in standalone Spring application, web-based Spring application. Last four scopes are there na boss. These last four scopes are there na boss. Can be used only in web application, RESTful application. That means we cannot use them in what? Standalone. As on today, how many scopes practicals we can see? Only two scopes. One is singleton, one is prototype. Yeah, they will work in both standalone and web application. Did we start the web application development using Spring? But last four scopes work in where? Web application. But did we start the web application development by using Spring guys? No, that's why we are going to see practicals of these two things currently. In coming days, we are going to see practicals of what? Remaining scopes. Is that clear, guys? Okay, now I have a question. How to mention these scopes, sir? If it is annotation-driven environment, we have @scope annotation, guys. Where you are writing @component, @bin, there you can write @scope to specify the scope. And all these 6 terminologies are allowed there. Clear, boss? If you are using XML driven configuration, in bean tag, we have scope attribute is there. What attribute is there, guys? In bean tag, we have a scope attribute. Right now, are we worried about XML driven configurations? Okay, boss. Tell me, the scope is applicable at what level? Scope is class level and method level annotation, guys. At the rate component class level, yeah, there itself, at the rate scope. At the rate bean is method level annotation, there itself, at the rate scope, guys. Are you understanding my statement? Super, guys. Tell me next one. Okay. We generally use scope annotation along with what? Component annotation and bean annotation, because using them only we configure Java classes as what? Spring Bean. But if you don't mention any scope, default scope is what, guys? But now listen carefully. First scope I have to start is singleton. Already I have given basic idea about singleton scope. Whatever it is, container creates only one object. But unfortunately, when I launched about design pattern, I also talked about singleton class. Yes or no? Na? So singleton scope, singleton class. Now I want to give clear clarity between what? Singleton scope and singleton class. So shall we start learning about singleton class, boss? And listen, guys. Only for meaning's sake, scope is having word singleton. Singleton scope is nowhere related to singleton Java class. Because of singleton scope, if you think that your class becomes, your Spring Bean becomes singleton Java class, you are mistaken. Only outline meaning you have to take from both terminologies. Singleton Java class says, whatever the situation, I will allow you to create only one object. Singleton scope says, I will make IOC container to create one object and to reuse that object across the multiple requirements. So that means flavor of the meaning is same, but flavor preparation is different. That's why they have used a singleton scope. But it does not mean, okay, IOC container is making Spring Bean class as what? Singleton Java class. No. Meanings are matching. Singleton Java class behavior and singleton scope behavior is same. That's why they used singleton one for what? Scope name. But both are nowhere related, guys. There's no link between singleton scope and singleton Java class. Only outcome behavior looks same. Here single object, there single object. Single object is different because we made class as singleton, single object. Their class is not singleton. IOC container is restricting itself to create only one object. Here class is restricting not to create second object. That's why only one object. Their class won't restrict. IOC container itself restrict because scope of the Spring Bean is what? Single. Singleton scope does not make a Spring Bean as what? Singleton Java class. But container creates one object. Singleton Java class says, I restrict anyone to create second object. That's why only one object here. Their class won't restrict. Container is happy with one object. Container only allows to create one object. As long as you want to use container object, for singleton scope Spring Bean, you will get one object. Here, guys, it's something like this, boss. Someone said, I'm very sincere government officer because he is not working in corporate department. He is working in what? Library department, forest department, or some record maintenance department. Their money won't come. That's why he is not taking money. That's why he is not corrupted. Tell me, is he called sincere officer? And he is called sincere officer. He is in police department. He is in revenue department. He is in RTA, where they issue license and vehicles. But he is not taking money. Then he is called sincere officer, right, guys? Because container not interested to create second, third objects for Java class. Container is happy with one object. That class never becomes what? Single. When class becomes singleton, though someone wants to create second, third object, class should not allow you to create second, third, fourth object. You should say one object is enough, reuse that object. Then class becomes what? Single. Okay, now tell me. I think everyone knows servlets now. Yes. Servlet container creates how many objects for servlet component class? Only one object. Can I say servlet component class is singleton by default? Yes, sir. No. It's a normal class only. Servlet container is happy with one object. If you want, you can create more objects manually by using new operator, right? But container is not ready to create second object. He is happy with one object. But when you develop perfect singleton class, if you are really interested to create second object, also class won't allow. Everyone understanding my statement, guys? Singleton scope says IOC container creates only one object. Okay, it does not allow to create second object. So class is not singleton, right, guys? Singleton Java class says whatever the environment, it won't allow you to create more than one object. It restricts you to use only one object again and again. That's why it is called as what? Singleton Java class. Clear, my dear? Got the point, my dear? I want reply, guys. We generally use scope annotation along with what? Super, guys. What is singleton? Java class. The Java class that allows us to create only one object in any situation is called as singleton Java class. Single means one, ton means object. Singleton. Right now my presentation is about singleton Java class, not about singleton scope. I will bring into singleton scope later, guys. Sir, why should I worry about singleton class creation? Instead of creating multiple objects for a class which is not having data, state, or which is having only read-only state, which is having same state for multiple objects, create one object and use it for multiple time snappers. I have a class, only method, no member variable. I am creating 200 object without data. Waste of memory or not? Create one object, use it for 200 times. Second case, I have a class, only final variables are there. Final means fixed data, right, guys? I created 200 object with the fixed data was waste of memory. Create one object, use it for 200 times. Nice, na boss? I have a class. In that one variable is there. In that variable, I am holding all country names in this world. How many name? Country name. Country names will change every day. Na. New countries will be added every second night. New countries will be deleted every 1 year. Not possible, right, guys? They will change once in a while. Sometimes they won't change also. So if I create 300 objects also, data is same. Modifiable, but very rarely that will be modified, right, guys? Instead of creating 300 objects having same data, come on, guys, create one object, use for multiple time. So situation is very simple. If your class objects are going to have no data, fixed data, shareable data across the multiple classes. Okay, better to create one object, use it for what? Multiple time. Convinced or not, boss? In which situation we should think about taking class as singleton class? Your class is going to have no data, fixed data, shareable data. Then create one object, use it for multiple times. I hope you understood my statement, guys. Sir, why, sir? What's your problem to create multiple objects? In Java, object creation is a costly affair, boss. it needs more memory and more CPU time. More objects with no data, more objects for same class with fixed data, more objects with the same class with the shareable data. Come on, guys. Is meaningless or not? Create one object and use it for what? Multiple time. What is the problem to go for singleton class? Instead of creating more objects per class with no data, class with fixed data, class with shareable data, and wasting memory and CPU is meaningless. Instead of that, you go for what? One object creation and use it for multiple times. For that purpose, you have to make class a singleton class or not there. Instead of creating multiple objects for Java class, either with no data or with what? Fixed data or with what? Shareable data, where memory and CPU time will be wasted, it is recommended to create what? Single object and use it for multiple time to use the memory and CPU effectively. The class that allows us to create only one object in any situation is called as what? Singleton class, guys. What class, guys? In any situation, it should allow me to create only one object. Clear, my dear? Got the point, my dear? I want reply, boss. Super, guys. Note. Though class allows us to create multiple objects, if you are happy with creating single object for that class, then that class is not called single. Class is allowing, but you are happy with one object. Do you think that is singleton, guys? Test T is equal to new test of. Actually, test class allowing to create a number of objects. You are happy with one object. Do you think that is singleton? What is singleton class? Though you are interested to create multiple objects, you should allow me to create only. It's called singleton. Okay. For servlet component class, servlet container creates how many objects? Though servlet component class allows to have multiple objects. So we cannot say servlet component class is what? Can we say servlet component class is singleton class, guys? Though programmer wants to create multiple objects, the singleton Java class allows us to create only one object in any situation. I hope you convinced with this statement, guys. In any given situation, it should allow me to create only one object. Yeah, predefined singleton classes are, what are the predefined, guys? Java.lang.runtime. Yeah, why runtime is given as singleton class? Any guesses? When application is running, that application will have how many runtimes? Only one runtime. If people wants to access that runtime for 100 times, same runtime should come or different runtime should come. That's why they made runtime class as what? Each object of runtime represent application executing environment. What environment? Okay, guys. For one application execution, how many runtimes will be there? One runtime will be there. If someone try to access a runtime for multiple times, same runtime should go or different runtime should go? Open your mouth and respond. If you don't respond, feel shame. My neighbor is eating same food, I am eating same food. He paid the same fee, I also paid the same fee. Why is able to respond? Why I am not able to respond? Manufacturing defect? You cannot escape like this, right? Please be active. You have chosen offline classes for staying activeness. After coming here, if you keep dull faces, no response, it's meaningless of spending time in journey and attending classes, right? Okay. Online students, are you active? I hope so. Okay, guys. Tell me next one. Next one is what? Desktop class is there. One more class is what, guys? Why desktop class is singleton? Any guesses? For one computer, how many desktops will be there? Each object of desktop represent desktop of a computer. How many desktops will be there for one computer? If someone asks 10 desktops, same say desktop should go on or not? Similarly, in Log4j, one object is there, logger. Okay, that is also there to write the log messages, error messages. For entire project, only one logger object should be there. Then only messages will be written nicely. That's why that is also given as what? Singleton class. Super guys. Okay, now listen. I want to develop user-defined singleton class. This is my requirement. First of all, what should I do? The most important thing is close all the doors, guys, to create the object outside the class. Open only one door. In that one door, check whether object is already created or not. If not created, create and return the object. If already created, okay, return the existing object reference. Don't throw any exception. First time new object, second time onwards, return existing object reference. That much simple it is. The challenge is how to close all the doors of creating object. What is the biggest door of creating object for a class outside the class, guys? Using constructor means new operator. New operator uses constructor. If I make all the constructors of my class as private, can I access them outside? Can I access them outside? Respond, Babu. Can I access them outside? Why? Private things are not visible outside the class, right, guys? Because of this simple operation, taking every constructor as private, whatever available constructors as private, you are killing the possibility of creating object for a class outside the class using new operator. Using new operator, right, guys? Definitely, we are closing the possibility of creating object outside the class using the support of new operator. What do you say, guys? We are definitely closing that possibility or not, guys? Now focus, guys. Now focus. If that big door is closed, major problem is solved now. But you have to open one door, guys. What is that one door? Okay. One door. That one door, if it is a static factory method, it would be good now, boss. Why? To call static factory method, do I need to have object for the class? Moreover, I can make that method giving current class object. Come on, guys. But before creating and returning current class object, I need to check whether object is already created or not. Okay, boss. By taking private constructor, outside object creation using new operator is gone. I will take static factory method one. Static factory method. Inside that I will write singleton logic. What is singleton logic? Check whether object is already created or not. If not created, create and return. If already created, return the existing object reference. That means along with the static factory method, we should have one reference variable at the class level to hold already created object reference or not. At the top of the class, I will take one reference variable. By default, it holds what? Null. When first object is created, null is replaced with what? Address of the object. If that reference variable is null, no object is already created, create a new object and return. If that reference variable is not null, object is already created, return that reference. So total how many things are required, guys? 3 minimum things are required to develop the class as singleton class. Number 1, private constructor. Number 2, one static reference variable of the same class type. Why static reference variable is required, guys? To hold that one object that is created, to hold the reference of one object that is created, right? so that I can check that reference variable whether object is already created or not. Are you understanding my statement? Then why are you taking the reference variable static, boss? My factory method is static or non-static? In static method, only static data is visible, non-static data is visible. If you want to use anything without object in static method, the used one also should be static, na boss. Come on. That's the reason static reference variable. Got it, my dear? Third one is what? Take a static factory method having singleton logic with respect to that reference variable. With respect to that, check it out. We develop user-defined Java class as what? Singleton Java class with minimum standards. Are perfect means so many doors are there to close, but right now I'm focusing on what? Minimum standard. Minimum, but major door is closed. What is that? New operator major door is closed. Close all the doors of creating object for Java class, being from outside of the class, and open only one door. What is that one door? Static factory method to create object by checking whether object is already created or not. Keep the private constructor or constructors. Okay, next one. Take private static reference variable of current class type. Why? When single object is created, someone should refer it or not. By using reference variable only, I can check whether object is already created or not. Static factory method having singleton logic. No mug-up, nothing, guys. Okay, now let's put into the practicals. In my software company, I am giving printer access to all my employees. I want to see all people using single printer only. I mean to say same printer only. Whenever they give print, you should access the existing printer. They should not think about arranging new printer on rental basis, or they need not to think about purchasing a new printer. So if I develop printer as a software class, I need to think about making printer as a singleton class now, boss. It makes sense or not, guys? Once again, check it out. All employees of company should use same printer. Same printer. If I think printer as a software class, Java class, it's better to develop printer as a singleton class, boss. If they want to have second printer also, they cannot have. All people should use what? Single object created for printer class. Printer class should not allow to create second object. I must develop printer class as singleton class or not, guys? So what should I do? Printer class 01 constructor as a private constructor. The 0 parent constructor as a private constructor. A new operator cannot create object outside the class. Next, one private static reference variable. Why? When that single object is created to hold the address of the object. Next, static factory method. There we check the reference variable is null or not. If null, we create new object, return it. If not null, we return the existing object reference. Over now, boss. Is there any rocket science involved here? Okay. Shall I open your Eclipse IDE, guys? To develop singleton class with the minimum standards, how many things we should do? Private constructor to stop the object creation using new operator outside the class. Static reference variable. Okay, to hold a single object, the reference that is created. Static factory method having singleton logic, guys. What do you mean by singleton logic? Checking whether object is already available or not. If available, return. If not available, 1102, guys, launch it. Is it our own now? Yeah. File new Maven project. Now onwards, smaller, bigger project, we'll be working with Maven boss. Say next. I hope you are able to practice with Maven. Easy. Any difficult while practicing? If practice, the problems will come, sir. I never practiced. That's why no problem, right? Maven hyphen, archetype hyphen, quick start. See, if you want to continue interest of coming to class every day, you have to complete assignments and practicals. If you don't do that, 1 week, 10 days, 1 month, okay, you can enjoy. You'll get something also. After that, what happens, if I open window menu also, it looks like a SAR is going very fast. In while explanation, if I close the window also, it says SAR is doing something we don't know. It's because we are not habituated to the environment. That danger is there. Once that comes to your brain, slowly your interest of attending classes will go off. What do? Break. Next batch. Next batch, will you change? No. They're also same ball game. Again break. One more batch. Either course will not complete or course complete but you won't get the knowledge. So practice every day. I'm telling with a serious warning. We are here to do wonders, and that wonders will happen when you practice parallelly with me. I'm a good listener, I will get the job. No, sorry. You are going to become software engineer. After joining company, you have to sit and type the code. And for that one, practice is required. Super. You have to spoil your hand by getting errors. And you have to clean the hands by solving the errors. Unless until you make your hands have dirty hands, you never become good programmer in the company. Okay. Prom.NIT guys, artifact ID. What is there? IOC plus 04 singleton Java class. What is there? Core Java. Singleton Java class, core Java. Save finish. Yes, we got singleton Java class, core Java has come now, boss. Yeah, let's listen. Recently, Quick Start 1.5 has come. Actually, I have selected Quick Start 1.5. Maven hyphen archetype hyphen Quick Start 1.5. And by default, it is coming with Java 17. So that's why there is no need of you changing to Java 17. I think yesterday only that update happened, boss. When I did this, that time it has not come. Today morning when I'm doing practice for other batch, I noticed there's an update in Maven. What is that? Quick Start 1.5. If you are using Quick Start 1.5, you need not to change 1.7 version of Java to 17 because by default it is coming with 17 only. Check it out. Here 17 has come now, boss. Fine. That's the advantage of working with the latest archetype. So you need not to do Maven update. You need not to change the Java version. Okay, let it be, boss. Here also, one default package is gone wrong. Prom.nt.sten. Sten is nothing but singleton class. This is my singleton class, boss. Sten. Here is my main class. And I have to test it now, boss. Prom.nt.main. Prom.nt.main. Okay, in the S10, what we got, guys? Class. In the S10, what we got, guys? Class. Yeah, what is the class I would like to take? Printer. What is the class I would like to take? Printer. Okay. Super, guys. Tell me, first one, I have to take private constructor. Private printer. Okay, here I will write systrace. Zero param constructor. What, guys? zero param or arg constructor, guys. Yeah, first one. I'm going to create one object. I'm very clarity is there. If I can hold that one object reference in a reference variable, by checking that reference variable, I can check whether object is created or not. That one object is created or not. Come on, guys. So private printer. Come on, guys. Private static. Sir, why private? I know. Why private? And if it is not private, if it is public, outsider can access and modify that reference variable. Na? Though object is created, they may change to null, na boss. Why to give the chance? Let's keep inside the class only, private. Why static? Why static? Because I'm planning to use this reference variable where? In a static method. In static method, which are accessible without object. Only static variable. If it is non-static, object is required. My entire headache is object creation. So how can I get object without creating object, right, guys? Okay, private static printer instance I am taking. Any name we can take, boss. But generally, we take a static variable, final variable, case letter to differentiate them from normal variable. Okay. A reference variable to hold that single object. To hold that single object. A reference variable to hold that single object, boss. Yes. What is this? Private constructor. What is that, guys? Private constructor. Tell me next one. Public static. Yeah, tell me. Printer. Printer. What is there, guys? Get in a stance of. Private static printer. Get in a stance of. Come on, guys. If, tell me. Instance double equal to null. Static factory method having what logic, guys? Static factory method having what logic? If instance double equal to null, my dear, tell me what is there? Instance is equal to new printer. Single object is created, na boss? Okay, guys. If already created, if that is not satisfied, okay, return instance. Voice clear లేదా మీరే చూడాలేదా guys am I audible online students am I loud and clear online student please respond am I loud and clear please respond my dear shall I continue the class is everything good to go but then who said voice is not clear please continue all good not clear disturbance in my voice. I think today some problem might be there. ఫ్యాన్ గురించి రోజుండే ఫ్యానేగా now it is okay now is it okay guys echo problem some people are saying okay some people are saying breaking is your network problem guys Change the mic. Yeah. Everyone, are you able to see the poll? Everyone, everyone, are you able to see the poll on your screen? Please join for the poll. Everyone, please join for the poll. Viewer this one because I want to know whether your people wantedly doing or it's a real problem. I'm giving 1 minute time to every online student. Please put your genuine opinion there because we are not finding any technical problem our side. We are really not finding any technical problem from our side. I'm just giving 1 minute time. Where is the poll? It will be there in poll section. Check it out. Poll not visible. Then how others are answering, my dear? I adjusted mic. Everything is done. Fine, guys. Sir, from my side, Wi-Fi issue also not there, my dear. Look at the speed of the Wi-Fi. Look at the speed of the Wi-Fi. Beside chat box, if you go there, you will get the poll, guys. If you go there, you will get the poll option. After chat, there is a three-dotted window is there. The people who are the people are facing mic problem. Please rejoin. Fine, guys. Nearly nearly 200 people have voted. Not even more than that. 250, 300 people have voted, boss. Out of that, 167 people saying yes, it's good. 84 people are saying it's manageable. Only 47 people are saying there is a problem. I think 47 people, please check your network bandwidth. Check your network bandwidth. Try to rejoin. Stop using mobile data. Better to continue classes in what? Wi-Fi network. Alright, guys. Okay, I'm stopping the poll, guys. So everyone, please come back. Close the poll. I'm just closing the poll, nothing else. Yeah. 1 minute. Yeah, net is also good. Net is also good, guys. Problem is your side. Your internet speed is okay. Then check your mics. Check your mic and earphones, please. Madam Arshita, problem with your mic or earphones. From my side, no issue. Super, guys. Listen, there is no need of writing else block, guys. Why? If success is there, it will create object, reference the object. If failure is there, already created object reference is there, na? It will return that. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on. Super. Okay, then. Everyone, please come back. So this is a default class that came. You don't worry about that. So let's go to main class, guys. What is the main class? Here. Class. Acha, 1 minute. We don't develop class only for singleton, na? We also try to keep some business methods here, right? After developing class as singleton, if we don't keep the business method, it looks like we are developing only singleton class. Public void print. What is that? String data. Sys out. What is there, guys? Sys out data. Simply, what is there, guys? Sys out data was. Yeah, this is my printer.java. This is my main class. Main class. This is my class, guys. Tell me. Singleton test. Here is what? Main method. Singleton test. Here is my what? Main method. Tell me, guys. Get the instances. Printer is equal to. Tell me. Printer dot get instance. Printer is equal to printer dot get instance. Tell me. Printer 2 is equal to. Yeah, printer dot get instance. How many objects I am trying to create? 2. But technically speaking, how many objects are originally created? Second time, what happens? It will give existing object reference or not. How can you prove both are pointing to same object? By printing the hash code or by using double equal to operator? Super guy. Sys out, where is this? Printer1 dot hash code. Printer2 dot hash code. Printer1 dot hash code. Printer2 dot hash code, guys. Tell me here, what is this? System dot out dot println. Printer1 double equal to printer. Printer1 double equal to printer2. Okay. Tell me here, what is there, guys? Printer1 double equal to printer2. Here we are going to get true or false value or not, guys? Yes, boss. Singleton test, guys, run as Java application. Check it out. Both are having same hash code. Both are pointing to same object. That's why true has come. And moreover, come on, guys. Zero arg constructor is executing how many times? That means only one object is created, na boss. Only one object is created, na boss. I want reply, my dear. Come on. Super. Only one object is created. Definitely only one object is. Okay, now let's see the flow of execution. Control comes to main method. Printer dot get instance. When class is loaded, static variable will be created. By default, it will have what? Null. Yes or no? Now I call get instance method. Control goes to get instance. Is instance double equal to null? Yes. Object is created. Sir, private constructor, now how can you create object? Within the class, I can create. Outside the class, not possible. Using this private zero param constructor, object is created, guys. But that object address is now with what? Instance. Null is replaced with address of the object or not. And we are returning that object, boss. And that will come to client application. So printer 1 is now pointing to the object that is created or not. That's the first time. Second time, printer dot get instance, boss. Again comes to same static factory method. This time nulla, that to static variable, common for all objects, right? That to that allocates memory outside and common for everyone. It is nulla? No. It is holding address of the object. So what it is doing? It is not creating object. It is simply returning what? Existing object reference. So that will come back or not, guys? That will come back or not, guys? Okay. How to prove whether both are pointing to same object or not? By printing their hash code. Or by printing what? Okay. By printing true or false, by checking whether they are pointing, both reference variables are pointing to same object or not. Convinced with me, my dear? Super. Same story, guys. Same story. Here is the client application. Only one time constructor, same hash code. P1 is equal to P2 is equal to true. Can you practice that one, guys? One object can be pointed by multiple reference variable. Agree with me? Right now, printer 1, printer 2 are the two reference variable pointing to. That's why they got same hash code, guys. Generally, you take static or final static variable in uppercase letter for differentiation. Why instance is in uppercase letter? Hey, instance is not a fixed name, guys, but I prefer using the word instance whenever I want to refer object, guys. Okay, guys. So that's the reason I have taken instance. Double equal to operator is given references comparison, like to check whether two reference variables are pointing to same object or not. Someone saying that you have not called the print method, you can call, not a problem. Equals method is given for what? Content comparison, like to check whether two objects of Java class are having same content or not, same data or not. Whenever class is loaded, static variables will also be loaded and will be initialized with the default value or what? Initial value. Someone is asking me when that static variable will be loaded. When printer class is loaded, automatically its static variables will be loaded or not. So with this, what we completed, guys? Singleton. If you want, you can call print method. That's not a big issue. On any reference variable, you can call print method. In Spring 5.x and 6.x, total how many scopes are there? 6 scopes are there. What's the default scope? Okay. How to specify the scope, guys? By using scope annotation. By simply and literally using what annotation, guys? By simply and literally using what annotation, guys? Scope annotation. Are you getting my point there or not? I want to reply. Yeah, shall we go to first scope, @scope, guys? Scope singleton. You mention no scope annotation or you mention scope without any scope name, default is what? Single. It is a default scope for Spring Bean if no scope is specified. In this scope, the IOC container create single object for Spring Bean class with respect to Bean ID. With respect to Bean ID, it will create what? Single object. Okay, having that Bean ID as object name, only one object will be created. And Spring Bean class, Bean ID and Spring Bean class. And it keeps that object in the internal cache of what? And to reuse the object across the multiple calls given to ctx.getBean having the bean ID and across the multiple injection. And towards injection also same object will be injected. Come on. Or one object is created. If I try to inject in 10 places, same object will be injected or not, guys? Same object will be injected or not, guys? Yeah, tell me how to specify scope on a user-defined Spring Bean class on the top of the class at the rate scope you have to write. How to specify scope? When method is, when Spring Bean is created by using what? At the rate bean method. Along with the bean annotation, you have to mention the scope. Along with the bean annotation, you have to specify the scope. Clear, guys? That's the reason I said it is class level and method level annotation. What annotation? Class level and method level annotation. So can I prove, guys? Can I prove singleton scope Spring Bean is having only one object, guys? Come on. Right. Why we need to keep at method level? We don't need to keep, Mr. Rashekar. Do you know if class is predefined class, to make it as a Spring Bean, we use at the rate bean method? First try to get that point, my dear. Okay. Akhil, if you don't mention any scope, default is singleton. But you want clarity, then you have to mention it. Otherwise, if you don't mention also, default will come. Yes or no, na? But that is not interesting question. Someone asked, Rashekar asked a question. Why need to keep at method level? Maybe that guy forgotten. Predefined classes can be made as Spring Bean using at the rate bean methods of configuration class. Yes or no, na? First try to know that point. First try to know that point. Okay. Sir, after using at the rate scope, is need to be singleton logic. Again, I am telling that. After listening entire Ramayana, you should not ask who is Sita Babu. Singleton scope does not make Spring Bean class as singleton class. Yes or no, na? Because singleton scope is different, singleton class is different. Behavior wise, both use one object. Their class level restriction, that's why one object. Here container is restricting itself not to create second object and third object. That's why one object. Clear, my dear? Okay. If needed, I'll try to put that wording also. 1 minute. Yeah. The singleton scope makes Spring Bean class as the singleton Java class. Answer is no. Our Spring Bean class does not become singleton class, but it makes IOC container to create single object for Spring Bean with respect to clear, boss. Without making Java class as singleton Java class, we can make Spring Bean class just having only one object to singleton scope of the IOC container. I hope you understood, guys. Right. Okay, here I want to add one extra statement. What is the extra statement, guys? Singleton class allows us to create one object because of class level restrictions, right, boss? What is that? Singleton Java class allows us to create single object because of the logics placed inside the class. Because of the logics placed inside the class. Because of the logics placed inside the class, guys. Okay. Singleton scope Spring Bean Singleton scope spring bean. The IOC container creates single object. What guys? Creates single object because its scope is what? Single. 1 minute, 1 minute. Single object. Bro, spring bean class is normal class. What guys? And allows to create multiple objects. Allows to create multiple objects because, tell me, because of IOC container level restriction. IOC container level restrictions. Convinced, my dear? Come on, I want reply. Because of IOC container level restrictions. Okay. So now tell me guys, do you think singleton scope makes spring bean as singleton class? Only effect will be given though class is normal class. That means without taking the pain of making class as singleton class, we can bring the effect of singleton by taking scope as singleton scope or not guys? Why singleton scope is given? Simple reason. Without making class as spring bean as singleton class, you can still bring the effect of singleton class by taking the scope as what? Singleton scope. Singleton class is allowing single object because class level restrictions are there. But singleton scope is giving single object because IOC content is not interested to create what? Multiple object. It is happy with only one object. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Okay. Bharati, you can have any number of reference variable, object can be one. Okay. Can we take singleton class reference variable as final? You cannot take final because default null is there. Can you replace? By default null is there. Can you replace with other value later? You cannot take null, right? Okay. Bharati madam, I think you have to sit for core Java one more time. Within a single method, if I call get instance 2 times, assigned to 2 different variable, will the same object set to 2 different reference variable? That's a fact now, boss. Because that, not because we have taken 2 reference variable, because the method what you are calling is referring to same object, right? The method whatever you call is not creating 2 objects. The method is creating what? One object, but you are referring with the 2 reference variable. That is your headache, right guys? Okay. Okay, now let's come back guys. Everyone please come back here. Here we have auto wiring example. Take a copy of it. Control C, Control V. What is that guys? Scopes. What's the project number? Tell me. 04 is over. 05. Say this. Say this. Let me close everything, guys. Okay. Come back to this. In the SBeans, what is there? Component. No scope is given. What's the default scope? Perfect. Okay, guys. Now tell me here. Config class. How many bean methods are there? 1, 2. 2 are there. Create date. Create L date. Create L time. Total how many methods are there? Okay, no scope is given. What is the default scope? Array, because of @bean method returned objects become spring bean or not. And since no scope is given, what is the default scope, guys? Singleton scope, guys. Right. How to prove whether they are having singleton scope or not? Go to client main class, guys. Auto wiring test. Go to main class. and go to auto wiring test, my dear. Come on, everyone. Okay, let's comment all this stuff. Let's comment everything up to here, boss. I'm not interested for anything to see. I commented everything now, boss. Come on, everyone. Yeah. Get get a target class object. Yeah. Which message generator WM generator one? Come on. CTX dot get bean. What is that? WMG. Which message generator dot class. First time we got it. Second time we got it na boss. Generator 2. I'm asking which message generator object how many times, guys? I'm asking which message generator object how many times, guys? But one object has come, but pointing to that one object, we are taking how many reference variable? We are taking how many reference variable? Sys out, tell me. Generator 1 dot dot dot. Generator 1 dot hash code. Dot dot dot. Come on, guys. Generator 2 dot hash code. Generator 1 dot hash code dot dot dot. Generator 2 dot hash code. Yeah, sys out, my dear. Yeah, tell me here. Double quotes. Generator 1 double equal to generator 2. Here what is there? Generator 1 double equal to generator 2. Are we ready with this, guys? Okay, now check it out. Auto wiring test, guys. What is the output we are getting, my dear? Okay, what is the output? 591, 591. Is coming here. And how many objects are created for which message generator? That means container is creating one object. Reusing that object. Here I have not taken any reference variable. In which message generator is there any reference variable? Is there any reference variable, guys? The same class type, not there. Is there any factory method having singleton logic? But still it is reusing the object. How it is reusing object here? By keeping the object in the internal cache, right, boss? It is not using singleton logic to reuse the object. It is what doing? By keeping object in internal cache, it is reusing the object. Did you realize it? Real singleton class is reusing the object by storing the object reference to reference variable, right, guys? But Spring Bean, which is having singleton scope, is that object is reused by keeping object in what? Internal cache. So your credit should be given to singleton scope or internal cache. And the fact only singleton scope Spring Bean object in what? Internal cache. Remaining scope objects will not be kept in what? Internal cache. Why? Because remaining scope objects, freedom is there to create any number of objects for Spring Bean. Only in this scope only, freedom is not there to create multiple objects. That reusability of existing object also required. For that reusability, they are keeping object in what? Internal cache. Are you getting my point there, guys? Convince it with me, my dear. Okay, now let me do the same thing for second Spring Bean, which is taken using @bean, guys. Local time LT is equal to CTX dot get bean. What is the bean ID, guys? Did I give L time as the bean ID? Local time dot class. What dot class, guys? Local time dot class. I'm taking this one as a LT1. What's the other one, guys? LT2. Here also I am trying to do what, boss? Sys out LT1 dot hash code. What dot hash code? Dot dot dot. Next, LT2 dot hash code. LT2 dot hash code. Next one, what is there, guys? LT1 double equal to LT2 question mark plus LT1 LT2. LT1 double equal to LT2. You will get the same effect now, boss. It's because when first time object is created, it's kept in what? Internal cache. First time an object is created, it's kept in what? Internal cache. And that's why 736, 736. Here also we are getting in what? Here also we are getting the message true or not, guys. Sir, we objects are created with the bean IDs. Why should I believe you? I don't want to believe you, sir. You prove me fact. Objects are created with what? Bean ID. Check it out, guys. This out. All bean IDs are what, guys? All bean IDs are. Tell me. CTX dot. See, there is a something called get bean definition count is there. It will give all spring bean count now, boss. Come on. Yeah, that's the one thing. And here one thing is there. Check it out. Can get a bean definition names. Definition name means bean ID. Bean name, bean ID, one and the same. So all bean IDs count. First I will print the count, guys. Okay. Get all bean ID definition count. That's the one thing. Second one is what, guys? All bean IDs. What IDs, guys? Bean IDs. CTX dot, tell me, CTX dot get bean definition names. It's giving array. Any how to convert any array into single string, guys? Yesterday only we used, boss. What is the method we are having? Arrays dot to string. What dot to string, guys? Arrays dot to string. We have a method called what, guys? Arrays dot to string. CTX dot get bean definition names. So this is purely to prove that, guys, it's happening. Check it out. Sorry, 8 beans are there. I am now worried about it. You said wish message generator, local date, local time. Maybe configuration class also one spring bean. 4 I am ready, sir. What about other 4? That's what I am trying to say. Container internally makes some classes as what? Spring bean for their internal execution. You want to know what they are? Spend some time here. First one, internal high configuration annotation processor. To process the annotations, guys. Next one, auto-wide, internal auto-wide annotation processor. Purely to go for that. Internal event listener processor. Okay, to deal with event handling. Next one, internal event listener factory. These are ready-made beans, boss, right? Tell me, app config. My app config is a configuration class comes Spring Bean. When no bean ID is given, class name becomes bean ID. First letter, lowercase letter. Are you able to fill it or not? WMG I have given. L time I have given. L date I have given. Last 4 are our beans, guys. First 4 are what? Container generated beans are not, guys. Container generated internal Spring Beans are not there. We have a methods to get the count and names of the bean IDs. At least now my theory and practical is matching or not matching? Definitely matching or not matching? I want reply, boss. Ready-made beans are based on the starters we added, based on the container type we take. Definitely some ready-made beans will be created. Definitely what will be created, guys? Ready-made beans will be created. Are you getting my point, boss? Okay, guys. We can get spring beans count and spring bean IDs. Spring bean IDs from the IOC container. From the IOC container as shown below. As shown below. Yeah, what is the code we have got, guys? Objects got same hash code. I set the data in one object, I set the data using another reference variable. It will override existing object data since it's the same object. Definitely now, boss. Boss, I think you have to upgrade your Bharati madam. Please upgrade your core Java. If two reference variable pointing to same object using any reference variable, we can access the data, we can modify the data. Madam, don't come to learn core Java here. Please come to use core Java. Learning core Java is different from using core Java. Please. All these are very, very fundamentals, right? I think in my class also I said human body is like object. All your names and nicknames are what? A reference variable. Okay, now keep this example in mind. Okay, by using one name, someone came and hit the body. So with other name, it is not reflecting, huh? Yes or no? Na? Someone called you with one name, given food to eat. You have eaten food. With other name also, it will reflect or not, guys? Rama eaten food. Rama nickname is Chinna. Indirectly, Chinna also eaten food, na boss. Common sense, Ra Babu. Why are you making me to teach core Java all of a sudden? In what application, guys? Client application. Here are the story. We are able to get the bean IDs and everything, na boss. Here is my output, guys. Can I print the out? Bean ID 1, Bean ID 2, Bean ID 3, and Bean ID 4. All Bean IDs are kept, na boss? So these are user defined Bean IDs, right? Bean IDs of user defined spring beans. User defined spring beans. What all these are, guys? Come on. Bean IDs of predefined beans, right? Bean IDs of container generated spring beans. Bean IDs of container generated spring beans. Okay, I'm asking one final question, guys. If I take a scope as a spring bean scope as singleton, does it add singleton logic to the spring bean class? Then what is the relation between singleton class and singleton scope? No relation. Only outcome is same. Process is different. Singleton class allows us to create how many objects? Why? Because of logics kept inside the class. When scope is singleton, IOC container creates how many objects for spring bean? Only one arm. It's because of logic kept inside the class, logic that is there for IOC container. IOC container is having restricted logic of creating one object, keeping that object in internal cache, reusing that object. So here class level no logics was, only container level restriction is there. Our servlet component is singleton or non-singleton? But container behavior wise look like a singleton or not? So that's why singleton scope is there to bring the effect of singleton class, but class really does not become what? Singleton. Because of container restrictions and what? Management, somehow spring bean only one object is created, that one object is utilized, though spring bean is normal class, though spring bean actually allows multiple objects. So that's why singleton scope means container level restriction or class level restriction. Container level restriction. Very simple, boss. Singleton class is like self-disciplined person. I don't want to eat, I don't want to eat. I don't want to attract, I don't want to attract. I should not do means I should not do. Because within the body restriction is there, right guys? Okay. Singleton scope is like environment restricted restriction, family restriction. And boy is there, he want to eat, but family is not allowing. He want to do entertainment, but family is not allowing. Aisa no na? So now onwards you remember like this. Singleton class is like human with self-restriction. Right? Singleton scope is like what? Human with social restriction or family restriction. Is that clear? The best example I will tell you. Smoking habit is there, but he controlled and not smoking. That is like singleton class, because within the body, restriction has come, discipline has come, right? Okay. Smoking habit is there, but girlfriend taken promise, if you smoke, I will die. If you smoke, I will die. Then what is that? Singleton scope kind of restriction. He is not restricted. He is restricted by someone. Because of that, he is continuing the restriction. Clear? Thank you. At least sometimes you say, if you don't study, I will be. Okay. Fine, guys. So singleton scope is still not over, guys. Just started. So there are multiple permutation and combination related to what? Singleton. How much I explained, you worry about that much. But one more time, singleton scope does not make a spring bean as what? Singleton class. But singleton word is used because of behavior. Is that clear? That point is clear? Today at least you got the idea how to develop singleton class. But really do I need to learn that one to work with the singleton scope? But to compare, I need to learn. That's why I want to compare singleton scope and singleton class. That's why I have given knowledge of that. Yeah, what's your batch code? 16.8. 16.8, right? Where is this? Spring core. I click file upload. Where is that, guys? 1102 now. Your batch code is 1102. Spring Core, 13th, this one. Yeah, don't miss tomorrow's class. Tomorrow I'm going to introduce prototype scope also. Thank you. Have a nice time.